Hello and welcome to Real Life React. My name is Logan and I will share beginner to advanced React topics and cool bits of code that I found interesting while working as a senior software engineer. Today, we're going to be talking about React.memo, and this is Real Life React 0. Today we'll be talking about, do child components re-render when their parent re-renders, or will they just not re-render because it has nothing to do with their parent? Child component is independent. That's our question. And then do regular JS functions cause a child component to re-render? We have a simple set count here that's going to be used to trigger a re-render being used on this button here. And then we also have the re-render memoized, which is utilizing use callback to return a memoized version of that function. And then we have our components. So let's talk about our components here. So visual component is going to just use a simple useRef counter and a use effect with no dependency array so that it runs on every render to maintain the count. And then we're going to have a visual component memo that's wrapped in React.memo. So up here, we are passing rerender to the function prop with a visual component that's a regular React component. And we're also passing the memoized version to see if that's going to help us prevent re-rendering the child. And then we also have the visual component memoized version where we're passing the re-render and then also the memoized version. Let's take a look and see if any of the children decide not to re-render. All right, we can see that the last one is actually the winner. The last one is the only one that's not rendering. So the first question is, do child components re-render when their parents re-render? Is yes, they do. And there's only one case in which the child component won't re-render, and that's when it's a React memo wrapped component and any props that are passed to it are exactly the same. That's the fundamentals of how React.memo works. So in our case, we're passing a function that remains the same and keeps the same memory address the whole time, while rerender is recreating over and over again every rerender every time we click the button and getting a new memory address. Therefore, this one fails because the rerender is a different prop every single time and fails the comparison when the React.memo decides if the component is going to re-render or not. So regular JS functions themselves don't cause a child component to re-render. It's simply that the parent is rendering, therefore the child must re-render unless wrapped in memo. So regardless of whether it's passed a memoized function in the same exact props every single time, it's still going to re-render simply because the parent decided to. And that's pretty much it. This is just something that came up at work, and I wanted to talk about it and clear up any misunderstandings that some other people could possibly have. So thanks for watching. This was Real Life React 01 React.memo.